You know, from my perspective, um, it's always been taught that there's an ideal. There's an ideal in terms of the female figure and the male figure. There's an ideal figure. I think the naive person won't catch on probably, but somebody that knows what's going on, yeah, I can tell. I can tell that things are cleaned up, and I have no problem with that. I think I do it all the time in my artwork, and it's just something that has to be done for a specific purpose, you know, and that's what we do.
There are over 300 million people in the United States today. From California to New York, people all over the nation are trying their best to be beautiful and attractive. It is why we buy hair products, or spend hours at the gym, or buy expensive clothing. The media is always wanting us to buy their products so we can become a perfect 10. What is a perfect 10?
Personally, I think hair is the first thing that people notice about somebody, and usually we don't get often a second chance for a first opinion. So I think it's important that the hair we always like to say in the hair industry that your face is the picture and your hair is the frame. So if you have the frame highlight what the picture is going to be, that's what's the most important.
And even like remember on the Today Show when Matt Lauer one day admitted that he was losing his hair and kind of did a short haircut, and it became the story of all the newspapers. People actually do look at these things.
Over the years, magazines, movies, and television have influenced American men and women on their appearances.
A lot of times we'll see either a movie or something, and that usually typically causes them to want to get their hair changed, and so they'll bring in a magazine or something from a picture of a movie or something.
A student in cosmetology school said she got her hairstyle from
a picture off the internet.
I think a lot of times, like I said in the earlier, is that sometimes we'll see something on TV and we'll see a particular actor or actress who has a particular style that is appealing. That's typically what I've done in the past, is just say, hey, I want it like this, and so that's typically what I do.
Media images are the key influence to how people shape their hair. People want to look like the famous people they see and feel that the hair is a step in that direction.
Someone sees a hairstyle and it looks really good on someone, whether it be their face shape, their hair type, all of that stuff, and they'll get it done, and it probably wasn't the best decision for their face shape, hair type, etc. So, I don't know.
They typically do. A lot of times we like to say, now look at the hair and not the face when they bring in a picture, because sometimes they don't look at the full picture and everything. They kind of tend to want to look like the person rather than the hair, and so we kind of do that in our consultations when we meet with them. So.
Oh yeah, definitely. You see a lot of celebrities start trends of hairstyles and such, so definitely.
On his 2009 tour, Justin Bieber had his hair cut every couple weeks for $750 a cut. Recently, Justin Bieber decided to change his hair and is sporting a new cut. His hair sold for over $40,000 on eBay.
You know, we do see trends and different things come and go. However, more so now than ever, I have seen hairstyles really reach the spectrum. It's kind of like almost anything goes right now, and that's been very unique in this era, that you see long hair, short hair, textured hair, red hair, permed hair. So you see the full spectrum, and you look through the magazines mostly now and you see everything, and that's a hairdresser's dream, because they can create about anything and it's still fashionable. So.
In the United States today, about 70,000 hair salons, 65,000 being beauty salons and 5,000 being barbershops, generate combined annual sales of about $19 billion. For hair care products at both the salon and drugstore, Americans spend over $5 billion. Americans follow the trends seen in the media, increasing industry sales. The average price of a haircut these days seems to go between $25 and $45. Of course, at higher end places, haircuts can cost $600 easily.
Our prices range anywhere from $30 to $40 depending on the designer, and that usually depends on the years of experience. And that includes a stress relief and scalp massage, a makeup touch-up, and also the style and consultation and cut. We do. We're a full-service salon, so we do coloring, we do hair extensions, we do perming, cutting, chemical straightening. We do, of course, we're a full spa as well, so we do all the other services, massage, facials, waxing, pedicures, manicures.
Some Americans find that going to a salon and buying hair products is not enough for their hair, or start to bald, and go to some extreme measures to get the look that is presumably in and more attractive. The cost of a hair weave can range anywhere from $100 for a quick weave up to $2,000 for a celebrity quality weave. The industry will use any technique to lure consumers into buying their products, including pushing the idea instead of the product itself. Magazines are even known for giving free tips to readers so that people will keep buying their magazine. The media additionally puts a social standard on body hair. The desire to remove excess body hair seems to start at adolescence. Men are taught that their body hair is just fine. Just keep it under control.
Men, I think that they should have hair.
I don't love it, but I guess it's okay. Depends.
Guys with body hair? It's cool. I have body hair.
While women are taught that their body hair is unacceptable in certain places and frowned upon in others.
Body hair on women? I think that they should shave their legs and their armpits, but other than that, I don't know. Arm hair is fine.
On women? That's not a turn on.
People use many remedies to get rid of their unwanted hair. The media continually sets forth the idea of how society should view body hair any ways they can to sell the product. The brand Venus, for instance, puts forth the ideal that beautiful celebrities use their razors, and they are goddesses. In fact, anyone who uses a Venus razor is a goddess. Like the goddess Venus herself, the media uses this technique in all types of advertisements. From the summer dresses of the mid-1900s to the laid-back styles of the 70s, whether it was for a special occasion or just plain bizarre, or hanging out with friends. Nearly everybody wears clothing. It is everywhere across the country. Some are more common than others, while others are aimed for a more specific crowd. And some are a little more luxurious. The list goes on and on. Some cities are even idolized because they have specific stores in them. Nearly every one of these companies have ads to make you desire their clothing. Nowadays, there are countless different styles of clothing. There are articles of clothing that range anywhere from several dollars to a couple thousand, depending on the brand of clothes. There are clothing companies all across the country sending out catalogs every month to show us the latest trends. TV shows dedicated to showing people how to dress right, and extremely large print ads hanging in every window of clothing stores. Many people feel clothes are very important. The United States Census Bureau stated that there are roughly 47,000 malls in this country. With malls almost everywhere, it's no wonder people are always going shopping. It turns out the average American spends around $700 a year on clothing apparel for themselves. Meanwhile, the average amount of shoes that a woman owns in this country is about 19 pairs per woman. With so many different types of clothing available everywhere, why spend more on an article of clothing?
My most expensive piece of clothing right now, I think I have a few of the Rockin' Republic jeans. They're about $350.
You said right now, do you have something more expensive than that?
I don't, I mean, I just kind of keep building up and building up. The next thing I was looking at, there was a pair of shoes that was actually about $500.
Can I ask why spend that much?
I feel like when I spend more, it just, again, you feel better, and it seems to last longer because I'm taking a lot better care of it because I know the money I spent on it.
Danny Nappy, a clothing designer from Salt Lake City, was one who liked these more expensive brands but fell short when it came to money.
Currently I only wear Nappy, my own stuff. and really because I can't afford to buy anybody else's. But before that, my favorite was Diesel, probably. And the problem is I couldn't afford Diesel, and I wanted it, so I just started making things that I wanted and couldn't afford, and that's kind of what got me going into fashion.
Brands are almost everywhere you look, especially the clothing industry. In a survey, we found that half the people asked stated that brands really don't matter when it comes to their clothes. If that is the case, then why do so many clothing companies put their logos and signature designs on their clothing? Do brands and cost play a role in how appealing you are to another individual?
It's mostly the style. I'm a t-shirt and jeans kind of guy.
It's a lot of times the way they can pull it together. Sometimes I am a little more picky. The girls are shopping with Nordstrom or some of the, with G-Star, some of the, or the Ruka, some of those. But if they can get something and pull it together and they can pull it off, great.
No, just the look, I guess.
Just the look?
Yeah.
Many of the people we asked said the actual brands and the cost of the clothing people wore were not as important as